Tonight on Sports Page, end of an era. Iron Mike sends Trevor Linden island hopping as he continues to wheel and deal. Drilling the Oilers, Canucks look to make it 3 wins in a row against Edmonton. And get ready for the Wild, the wacky, the one, the only, the plays of the month. Alrighty, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sports Page. Like a mad scientist trying to create a bigger monster, Mike Keenan changed the mix of his hockey team again today, sending Trevor Linden, yes, Trevor Linden, to Long Island in exchange for Brian McCabe, Todd Bertuzzi, and a third-round draft pick. The 6'1", 205-pound McCabe has racked up 145 minutes and penalties this year. That's in 56 games. He'll obviously help the Canucks at the back end, while the 6'3" Bertuzzi can play both center and right wing. He's got 7 goals and 11 assists this season. Now for more on today's big deal, here is Shorty.
It was news Trevor Linden was expecting to hear. It was the source that caught him off guard a bit.
The equipment trainers seem to know everything first because they're in charge. They're the key guys. So actually, I was working on my knee, and Patty O'Neill came and grabbed me and said, "You just got traded." And I was like, slightly surprised.
But not a whole lot surprised. Linden has been resigned to a trade for some time now, aware that his decade with the Canucks was about to come to an end.
It's been a tough situation here for the last couple months from a team standpoint, and I think Mike has been frustrated, and I think that when you look to change things, I think you look to change probably the things that have been the same for the longest.
And there was nothing more constant for the Canucks than the man wearing number 16. The second pick in the 1988 draft, Linden came to symbolize hockey in Vancouver, both on and off the ice. But things changed this season. Linden gave up his captaincy to Mark Messier. And when Mike Keenan was brought in to help right this sinking ship, Linden's stock in Vancouver began to nosedive.
I'd seen him play in the playoffs in '94, and I wasn't seeing the same player. So I knew it, and I'm sure he has it in his own repertoire to play to that level again, and that should be his own expectation.
You know, I think that there's part of you that always believes that, you know, you're going to remain here and it's going to happen here for you. I mean, there's a small part of me that got smaller and smaller.
And you can bet his desire to stay here took a big hit on that infamous night in St. Louis when Linden was ripped in the dressing room by his coach, criticisms later repeated by Keenan in the media.
I thought that I would be his type of player and someone he would enjoy coaching and wanted to be a part of it, definitely wanted to be a part of it.
If I had to do it over again, I wouldn't have said anything, but it was an honest, emotional attempt to a degree to help get him over a hump at a stage in his game where I felt that he had to move forward. Instead,
he's moving to New York. So who are these guys the Canucks got in return for the player who was once considered the cornerstone of the franchise? Brian McCabe is a 22-year-old defenseman, a second-round pick from 1993. Big, physical, and with some offensive skills as well.
He has the ability to play in all situations, both offensively and defensively. And he at the same time adds an element of grit and competitiveness to our back line as well as youth.
And youth is also what they get in Todd Bertuzzi, who just turned 23 this week. Bertuzzi is another gritty type, which means he should fit in nicely on a Mike Keenan coach team. He'll fit in better than Trevor Linden did, who leaves Vancouver with a somewhat heavy heart, but also a head full of great memories.
I've had 10 great years here, 9.5, and I feel very fortunate for that and thankful. And, you know, I think it was kind of, the time was time, and I kind of realized that, and, you know, I look forward to moving to New York and starting over again there.
Won't be able to keep the truck either. We will take a more in-depth look at Trevor Linden's career coming up a little later on in the show. Plus, Christina Matisic will have some fan reaction to the trade on Global News at 11:30. But first, here's one from the Sports Page X-Files. If you had a ticket to tonight's Oilers-Canucks game at GM Place, take a close look at the ticket stub. Yes, that is Trevor Linden staring right back at you. Trevor's first head coach as a Canuck, Bob McCammon. A little more hair then.